Hello and welcome to the Lost Art Podcast. I'm Gary and I'm here with Paul.
It's good to see you.
Or
hear you anyway.
Jesus. This week we are doing a podcast called Irrational Dislikes, and it's going to be kind of part one of a two-parter. Basically, we have a bunch of bands that, for no apparent reason, we just don't like.
Like we always usually know why we hate this band, and obviously it'll come up a little bit in this, but we feel we're being irrational and we're admitting it. Absolutely.
Like there's essentially no reason for me to dislike any of these bands, but I do. There's one at the end that I know I just don't like, right?
Yeah,
and I think I could have my mind swung on it a little bit. So part one, we're going to give you the list of bands. We're not going to play any samples or any of that type of nonsense. We're going to give you the bands. We do have a playlist that's just whatever. You can listen to the songs or not. And what we want you to do in the meantime, between this show and next week's show, which is going to be part two of this, we want you, the listener, to try and change our mind. Give us songs to listen to by these bands that we're going to call out, and we will listen.
Or some cool facts that make them seem cooler, like they built an orphanage or something.
Tell us.
We should mention, I don't know about you, but I've done fuck all research on this purposely.
Jack shit.
Because I don't want... You see, what happened is we did a few episodes similar to this before, but they're not really the same. We did I Just Don't Get It, where we talked about bands that we didn't dislike or like. We just didn't really... every time we listened to them, we're just like, I don't really get what the deal with them is, why they're popular. So what we did was we researched it within that episode, and we came up with things we liked about it. But the problem with that is we never got to really talk about what we never get to fully explore what we didn't really get about them because we'd already had our minds changed.
Exactly.
So this time we're doing a little tube, and I don't really want to know anything about these bands until I go and sit down and actually.
And I will
honestly.
I think I'll put the work in.
I think there's a couple of these bands who, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't even really heard more than 5 seconds of.
Absolutely.
So this is like, we're admitting completely this is irrational. It's ignorance. Ignorance.
This
pure
is
ignorance.
Pure kind of, like you said, it's ignorant. It's a pure kind of stupid fault in our personalities that
but
maybe we can correct.
Next week we'll find out if we were right all along.
This is a purely a kind of opinion based podcast. This is not, if you like any of these bands, it's nothing to do with you. We're not slagging you. We just have just something.
If anything, we don't fucking know half enough is what we need to know to have an opinion. This is what we picked off the top of our head of bands we don't like. This is a kind of experimental thing.
For no reason, essentially.
We've done loads of podcasts on bands that we don't like, and we've told you why we don't like them. We've done podcasts on bands that are huge and everyone likes, and we don't like. Controversial dislikes was one where like I would pick Queen, but I can intimate to you and I can explain why I don't dislike Queen, but I don't really like them. There's a middle ground of just being sort of, I don't really listen to them. I don't really think it's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But this is I don't like any of these bands, and I don't really like their fans. Maybe that comes up as well.
Yeah.
The fans can wreck things for you. So.
Definitely. Let's get into it. Like I said, we've got 6 each tonight. Normally we do 5, but because it's not really a researchy type of podcast, we're going to try and fly through these, get it over and done with, give you guys as much time as you need. Now, don't wait until... we don't know when we're going to be recording our next podcast, but it's going to be this week that you're listening to it. So don't be saying, I'll message them on Friday. It could be over.
The better.
Could be over.
The quicker the better.
So shoot in. Post it up on the Facebook, the Twitter, whatever.
Even if it's just your opinion, go, no, I think they're deadly.
Absolutely. Whatever. Defend your band. Like if we cut your band here, defend yourself.
Got a cool story where you went to see them a gig and they stopped the fucking scaffolding falling down on a load of fucking the disabled section. You're like, wow, that was like a superhero shit.
Exactly.
Or if you go, no, actually they have a bad image of themselves, but this is a good song with them. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. Something.
Yeah.
Something. So let's get into it. Who was your first pick for an irrational dislike?
Baby metal. I think it's all stupid. I think it's stupid, and I'm not being lied. I'm not being weird. I think it's a bit weird. I think it's a bit odd.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Not so much now because I actually don't know the state of the band now. I haven't checked up. I'm not doing anything about this band. All I know is when they first came out, I knew that they were 3 12-year-olds singing to metal songs.
Pedo fodder.
in a pop
Fucking
stuff,
pedo
so.
fodder is what they were.
I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like that, but I feel like that's a bit of an element. Like, you can't deny that that's an element.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's cashing in on the whole idea of your average gobshite thinking about kind of Japanese culture of, like, dirty panties in fucking vending machines and
Well, I don't know
Lolita culture. Like,
I don't know that much about it, because if you could break it down, it could be just like, but why shouldn't 12-year-olds be able to sing about like metal stuff and all that? Like, but to be honest with you, we can make these excuses all, but we also know what people are like. So.
Yeah, and there's no denying that, like, being a bit ropey was part of the deal with this group when they were put together.
It feels a little bit like that. So,
Yeah.
So my irrational dislike of it is I don't know much of their stuff really, and none of it, when I listened to it, I never went, fucking that's atrocious or anything. I never had a particular opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I hate the whole vibe of it, and I hate how people will try and justify this as an actual bona fide fucking proper,
like a proper
musical thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Because I don't think it is. I don't think it is now. As it stands now, I don't. So
No, 100%.
I remember, you know, they were on the front of Kerrang! And for a while. I was like, baby metal are taking over. And it's all these, I'm sorry to say, fucking weebos that love this kind of thing. And I don't really like throwing weebo around because people get caught up in weebo by accident. Like, I remember literally in the late 80s buying a copy of Akira and being mad into manga and stuff like that. But I feel like now there's a sort of lust for Japanese culture that they will, these weebos, sorry if anyone doesn't know, is someone that goes after and is crazy into Japanese culture, but in an annoying way. I don't know if there's a difference between a regular person and the Japanese culture, like people that practice the actual lovely painting, drawing on the ground. These people don't do that at all. It's not those people.
It's the pop culture in the Japan they're after, isn't it?
Yeah,
body pillows,
culture, body pillows, and mad Kit Kats
and Pocky. Yeah, mad Kit Kats and Pocky.
Like, none of these things actually are a problem. Like, some of those, that lemon cheesecake fucking Kit Kat looks incredible, and I have had Pocky sticks before. To me, that's just like a thin Cadbury's finger, but whatever. Like, grand.
I like Pocky.
Yeah, it's great, but like, what I'm saying is, I'm getting older, and I'm fully buying into the irrationality of where I'm going with all this, and I find that there is a really low quality control that these people have about what Japanese culture. They'll just take anything, because I've seen them, and you know what, it annoys me as well. If the product is really bad, they'll go, it's so bad it's good. I'm like, well then what is, how do you...
Shy is shy.
Shy is shy, right? Okay, there's certain things like Freddy Got Fingered and Limp Bizkit that are fucking shy, but they're good. But I feel like people buying into the Japanese pop culture rather than the actual Japanese culture of, like, I don't know, incredible food and tea and like
Bushido.
Like, Bushido. That's too much effort.
Yeah.
That's too much effort for people that just want to see like, do you know what annoys me as well? This is actually starting to sound like just an attack on Japanese pop culture. Well, baby metal sort of embody a lot of that to me in music. So it's you know, the names of things like Super High School Trio, Fight for Fire. Mad names that don't even really make any sense in English.
Mega Robot, Fire Force.
But even that sounds sort of...
the translation might work in its native tongue. Exactly, you know what I mean? But when it comes over here, instead of calling it fucking whatever, Ashawiba or whatever the fuck it is, they're going to call it Mega Fountainheads Killer Laserface. And cunts love that. Have you ever watched Mega Laser Fountain Killface 2.3 or whatever? And
digging for the heart fire in the volcano of the mind.
And what are you talking about? Loads of that is deadly, but what you're looking at with baby metal is this kind of like shit boiled down version of for Western audiences, where it's a couple of girls, you know, into a fucking microphone while like a band chuggas behind them, and they do
seem
little
like
dances.
That band seem like mad solid.
I guarantee you they're all lads that are in other shit hot bands. Baby metal are basically the physical version of TikTok on a stage. Like, it's just this. It's fucking garbage.
Maybe they're okay, this might not sound fair, but literally we've warned you already. We're not going to be fair. We'll be fair in the next episode.
Maybe
back. We'll add the things. They seem like the Japanese tattoo.
Yeah,
but less like that. That was actually marketed as sexual. This isn't, I don't think, as far as I know.
Tattoo had a banger or two.
They did, and the music was great. Sorry, the production and all was class. But like, yeah, the whole thing is still creepy as fucking weird. But it's just unfortunate that I did hear some of the songs and go, that's actually really good. So I listened to Baby Metal a few times when it came out, and it was people going mad about it and trying to. Do you know what annoyed the shit out of me? That me and you will admit that Limp Bizkit are garbage, but they're great at savage garbage. These people are like, no, this is great music and it's great, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, people who actually think that Limp Bizkit are like amazing are wrong. Like,
they're wrong. They're not like they're not. They're, like, if aliens came down and they went, we need one tape, you're not giving them Limp Bizkit.
Exactly.
You're not. Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Not even their best album. Like, give them the worst Rolling Stones record. It doesn't matter.
Anything like that, yeah.
Like,
give them fucking...
It's just hot garbage and it's fine. You know
give
what I mean?
Them Sgt. Pepper's, give them OK Computer, whatever. But please, like, so... But I hate this new thing of not being able to admit that's shite. But and when it is shit, it's like, it's so shit that it's actually really good. I'm like, no. And like, they I think, I'm pretty sure I read, I didn't want to do any research about this. I want to get the hate flow naturally and unfiltered and badly, because I don't want to calm down about.
No, you need the juice
until
going
the next episode. Yeah, like, they came out and said, we don't like metal music. We just were hired to be singers in the band, and it fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
it's not a real thing.
Because then how can you stand by anything that you do in the band?
Yeah, exactly.
You were just,
your foundation is lies.
It's like when you were saying when Capadonna came out and said, "Don't like kung fu." So why'd you do that?
Exactly.
Why did you ruin that?
The hatred I had for that man after that interview. It's like, I don't like that kung fu shit. I'm more into, like, you know, gangster stuff and all. And it's like, what are you doing in the Wu-Tang Clan? Like, you weren't even really in the Wu-Tang Clan, and then they let you in, and then you start doing interviews giving out about kung fu, and you don't like the kung fu sounds and the songs. It's like, get the fuck out of Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh man,
stupid bastard.
Like, they have so much of quote unquote gangster shit that is Wu-Tang gangster shit, which is very believable, to be honest with you.
Exactly. They're all dirt.
But then it mixes with that incredible sound. But that's what I felt about, like, Baby Metal. But I didn't even have any emotional context or emotional, like, link to this band at all. But I remember reading that, just going, and there's people still going to go, no, this is deadly. And if I was a big Baby Metal fan and I read that, if I was listening to fucking, I don't know, Queens of the Stone Age, and Josh Homme comes, you know, I hate all rock music anyway. I'm like, that's a dickhead thing to say, and you're a dickhead.
You probably would say that, let's be honest.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So look,
it's like the Pokemon theme song, but a band. Do you know what I mean?
And the metal seems alright from what I've heard. I just the shifts in key and tone are weird, and it's I just don't really get it. And and it's not like I don't get it like the episode we did. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the feel of it. I don't like how it sounds, and I don't really know why, because there's technically nothing wrong. Their music seems on point. Their whole get up, like the aesthetics, like the costumes and all that, even the band and all have. I don't think they wear much and all that, but like the mad gear, they all
communion
look like
dresses, black and purple communion dresses.
Well, it kind of looks more like Cher. I don't know. I honestly can't think of anything but one performance of in my head I saw, and how much loads of metalers went mad for it. It must feel like if you're a Slayer fan and all your mates are into Ghost.
Yeah.
It must feel like that. I kind of get that now. I empathise with people who hate Ghost. And it's like, this is fucking, just please call it what it is. don't start putting this alongside on the stage beside Iron Maiden. Do you know what I mean? Don't do that.
And it was.
And I do not give a shit about the sanctity of metal. I hate those people that do that. But I just feel it doesn't matter what music this is. This isn't not protecting metal when I'm saying this. I'm just protecting honesty.
Exactly, yeah. I'm with you.
So anyway, that's my fucking Baby Metal rant. I don't like it. I think it's all creepy, and it invites creepiness, but it also invites people who have low standards of music. And they were one of the first fucking poxy viral.
Yeah.
There's people out there, right, that just like viral music.
Of course I do. It's a talking point.
Viral songs, like, they're shareable and they come and go real quick. Like, a lot of that power metal is very folk and stuff like that. Is like, it's almost comedy stuff. This is baby metal is no different, and I know I'm being unreasonable. You're allowed to be angry with me right now, everyone.
I don't think anybody is going to defend baby metal. I'd be very surprised.
There might be some people that are mad into it. There might be something saying. There might be some. We're going to let people help us come to a conclusion. I'm done with that one. Who's your first one?
My first one is the White Stripes.
Really?
Listen. Realistically, I should really like the White Stripes and Jack White stuff and all that kind of shit. You know, it's kind of rock and roll. It's creative. It's riffy. It's catchy. But my brain just says no. Like, and
I can. You know, I really like them. But if I'm being 100% honest, it's like that mate that rubs some people up the wrong way, and you go, I can't defend that.
There's just something about them that when I hear, here's what's strange. If you sat me down and we were having a few cans and you put on a Jack Black album or a White Stripes album or something like that, I would 100% sit there and I would tap my foot and nod my head and you go, listen to this bit, and I go, oh shit man, that's really, really cool. And then the second it's over, I just go back to hating them. I'd just be like, absolutely not. And if someone was like, oh man, there's a new White Stripes album out next week, or Jack Black has released a new, you know, Tours or whatever it was called, whatever it's due out tomorrow, I'd be like, I'd literally rather climb back inside me mad and listen to that. Like, I can't. Yeah. There's something my brain just says absolutely no. In my head, they're like just another festival band that are like Foo Fighters or kind of music for people who don't really like music. Who just like dan, 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 dan. Oh my god, oh get the shots in. The song's like fucking 1 minute 60 seconds or 1 minute 30 seconds long or some bullshit like that. My favourite song ever. And it's just something. I don't even not get it. My brain, it's like I was born with a genetic defect.
You get it. But you get it. But
my brain just says absolutely not for you. But I know. Helmut, I know it's for me because I've heard it, and when it's on, some of them songs are so good, man. Yeah, so good. And I know this, but when they're not playing, my brain just fucking hates them.
Yeah, well, that's what this episode's about. It makes sense to me. I know what you're saying.
I just can't do it. I got even a picture of him. I met him in Detroit in a bowling alley. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've nothing against him, but when I see him, I don't even want to hit him. I want to turn around and leave.
You know, kind of annoying though. He does seem a little bit annoying.
I don't know, and you know, he's done great things for like the whole like vinyl culture as a whole. He opened up his own pressing plant. He's doing crazy shit with like double etchings, and he's doing crazy stuff with records. You know, like that.
Is it just him or the White Stripes? Or all of it?
It's just everything related to him. Like, I'm picking the White Stripes because they're, like, for me, the bigger name out of all of it. And he's got a lot of different projects and shit like that. And, you know, it's just, it's not even flip-floppy. I can't imagine him writing a song. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I can't imagine him just sitting there, like, oh, I'm going to write a song and then going into the studio. But I can't imagine him writing a song in the studio either. I can't fathom how he exists in music. But when, like I said, if you put a record on, I'd be tapping my foot and nodding away going, this is really good, kind of catchy, gritty, kind of garagey rock, and I'm into this. But like I said, the second it's over, if someone said, like, what you think of that? I'd be like, shy. Even though I was enjoying it while it was on. Like, I don't know what it is. Honest to God, it's like I was brainwashed or hypnotised as a child before he even existed. Like, someone from the future came back, hypnotised me, and said, like, there's going to be this fella, Jack White.
Do you know what it could be, man, right?
I think I called him Jack Black about 8 times there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's annoying.
Same job.
I think you and him had beef in a previous life.
Maybe.
And here's the problem is, right, he's writing music that you would actually normally really like.
I know.
But
I know
there's something there. There's
there's
some residual memory from the past that makes you hate him.
We fought over a coconut on a beach once or something, you know what I mean? Like, something happened. Like, we had a rock war and he got me. Like, something happened. Like, you know. But I can't. And again, like I said, it's not that I don't get it. I absolutely get it. I just hate it. I hate the White Stripes. I hate Jack White. I hate the Tours, whatever they're called. I hate everything he does. Until it's on.
Even the Dead Weather, they're pretty good.
The Dead Weather.
He's not singing, he's just playing guitar, and then you might actually.
Is that fucking country band?
No.
Who's the other one? There's some Dead something that are like a bluegrass country band. The Dead
No,
something.
I would never tell you to listen to that.
They're like a big band. They played Vicar Street a couple of years ago. Again, I don't. It's not like I'm balls deep in him. I probably couldn't name you 5 songs that he's on. I guarantee I know them if you played them for me, but I couldn't name you 5 songs. You know, but I can't do it. Anyway, that's the White Stripes. I just can't. I just fucking hate it. I hate it. I don't even dislike it. I fucking hate it. I hate the thought and idea of it more than the actual stuff itself. And I'm dying for someone to turn around and say you need to listen to this, this, and this, and that's your full spectrum of Jack White.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I reckon that they can't give you a song because I think you like all them songs and do exactly what you just said. Go back and hate them. I think they need to give you something that resonates, that he did, that resonates with you. Something like the vinyl thing, maybe.
The vinyl thing I find very important because he went out, he bought his own, pressing machine and lathe and the whole shebang, and he's doing incredible things. And he has like a monthly sign-up thing where, it's like a subscription and you get sent records every month and all. It's fantastic. Yeah. He's doing amazing things, and I can appreciate that. But I just wish it wasn't him doing it. I wish it was someone else. I wish it was like David Lee Roth or something. Do you know what I mean? I wish it was someone else. So I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, that's the White Stripes. Who's your next one?
So I like synth pop.
Yes,
English synth pop from the 80s.
I heard this all right. Yeah,
and I like bands that can write a nice, catchy synth pop song.
Yeah.
I hate the Pet Shop Boys, and they're not a bad band. And they don't do anything. They've never come out and said anything I think that annoys me or anything. I've never seen them live and they ran off stage being dickheads or anything. I'm trying to figure out. I hate them. Actually hate them. Yeah. I do. I don't like the Pet Shop Boys. I think a little bit is the voice.
Yeah.
Right. That poncy voice. But then again, I've listened to bands that are way poncier than that. And I actually like the fact I like bits about them, like they seem like they're go crack or whatever, and I like that your man in the background doesn't want to be seen or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And It's a Sin is one of the best songs ever.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But I hate them, and I hate loads of their songs actually as well. Even though, do you know what annoys me as well? This is how I know it's irrational. I'll be watching a movie or something, and a bit of a song will come in and go, "That's Daddy, what's that?" So the Pet Shop wasn't. I hate that.
Yeah, I get it. I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I generally try and give. I listened to their last record that came out last year. They had an album called Hotspot, and I listened to that. And the very first song on that is a song called "Will o' the Wisp," and it has some of the best synth kind of sounds I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, your man is again no research. So your man, he's great. He is.
And the songs were fine. I mean, I'm not going to set the world on fire, but I can probably understand why you'd hate them. I don't necessarily understand why you'd hate them when you really like most of that other music. You know what I mean? That's the sticking point there, that the genre of music that they're making is your bag.
I'm trying to figure it out. It might have been Go West, which I think is an awful song. In the open air.
I kind of like it.
No, everyone loves that song.
Yeah, I think it was a big song when I was a young fella and I was just on all the time. I just got used to it.
Everyone loves that fucking song, right? There's nothing wrong with this band.
Life is peaceful there.
It's not. I'm trying to figure out. It's the accent.
Where are they even from? London? I don't know.
I don't know, but I remember hating them equally as much as Erasure, and then that changed, and now I kind of like Erasure. So I wonder, is this going to change now? See, this is the thing. If we think about this too long, it doesn't become irrational. You know what I mean? So we have.
If you deconstruct it too much, you stop hating it.
Yeah. This is that's what will happen in the second episode, which is maybe. But we both picked this list really quickly off top, right? Because that's the best way to
snap,
do it.
Son. Clickety clack.
To do it. Yeah, these are bands I know on top of my head. Well, I can name you bands who I hate, like Five Finger Death Punch, because I hate their fans, I hate the band, and I hate their shit music.
Yeah,
that's loads of things that I can legit. There's no point. Then we did an episode of I Just Don't Get It, where I picked like Manic Street Preachers, where I'm like, I like some of their stuff, I hate their, but I don't get what the turn on with their music is. And then I heard a few songs and I was like, shit, okay. I dug a bit deeper, and now I'm seeing. You have to sometimes see what other people see, but you can never go back to their life when that meant something to them.
Well, you can't do that. You can't get the cross section of experience that people have garnered from listening to these records over an entire lifetime. You can't do it on a weekend. You can't do it in a day. You can't do it in fucking 6 months. You know?
Yeah.
Like people's emotional attachment to bands where... You ever meet someone who's into a band that is so fucking crazy that you can't comprehend it? You know, like you meet someone who's like obsessed with Tom Petty or something. You know, they're like, my favourite singer of all time is Tom Petty, and they've got Tom Petty tattoos. And I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, but no, I know what you're talking about. I'm going to try and think of a band like that, right?
Yeah.
There's loads of people like that with the Levelers.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Levelers.
It's different in the sense that they're like Turbo Young.
Big country.
They have this. Yeah, like the Levelers. I'm trying to think of someone that we've heard bands ago. Someone go, "That's my favorite band ever," and I'm like, "Fucking."
I know. What are you talking about? How is that even? I don't understand. I don't
Block
get
Party. It. If someone's favorite band of all time was Block Party, I'd be like,
what?
Really?
Exactly. The Killers. Excuse me. Like, I again.
But the thing about them is, I would automatically associate them with just hearing them at the right time. But I'm trying to think of remember that band Dodgy? It's good.
Yeah.
There's someone who goes. There's someone that goes right and buys all of Dodgy's like record store day stuff. They're mad to them. When you're listening, going, what? Am I missing something about Dodgy?
Yeah.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. I'm like, that band, that's your favourite band.
Feeder. Feeder's a good example as well. Where it doesn't make any sense. Feeder doesn't make any... There's one or two songs that are kind of catchy, but like, everybody who went out and bought those albums, that the good singles came out of, realised that the rest of the songs on it were dirt. But people stuck with it.
Shy.
Yeah, people stuck with it. And we're like, no, I'm waiting.
Is that what it is, man? Is it more the association with a good time in their life that
has to be?
Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of them songs of the we've because in the Thomas House especially like that, or whatever pub we're in, we hear people saying these things and we're like don't slag them because that's not cool.
Yeah.
But what the fuck?
I know you do, but you do a bit of old judging silently a lot, like.
That's your and yeah, you're trying to ask like so that like out of all the Pink Floyd, not like none of them come close to
all the bands in the world, and you've picked whatever Feeder or or something like. Yeah, I don't get it. It's like and again, it's not really our place to judge someone on it. However, we've set ourselves up a podcast to judge fucking stuff like that. So we have to be variable about it.
Here's the thing, like Neil Tennant is on.
Is that his name? Is that not the actor?
Oh, it is. Yeah. What's your man's name?
It's Neil something, isn't it? Neil something.
I don't know.
Something. Neil from Pet Shop Boys. Neil Tennant's Doctor Who, wouldn't he? If we had a research, then we'd have all these details.
No, it's David Tennant.
David Tennant. All right, yeah.
So Neil Tennant is. So he's been on an amazing David Bowie song. He's on Hello Space Boy. Right, and he's on a deadly Robbie Williams song as well. Like that's kind of one of the more buried Robbie Williams songs. That's actually there might be No Regrets. Actually, he's on. I'm not sure, but he does a really good job. No Regrets and the backing vocals. And so I don't think it's his voice. I don't know what it is. Honest, I'll find out. But right now,
I kind of like his voice.
That's grand. Like I don't know if it's that. Yeah. I'll have to figure it out. But I wasn't doing it for this episode because it would have been shy. Imagine I came to you with the end product of I didn't like them, but now I like them. Here's why. People
that'd
like
garbage.
Boring.
You suck it.
So the last
podcast about your thought process, like
this is the time we come in heavy and hot and wrong and irrational. Yeah. That's the name. Who's your next one?
My next one is the Eagles of death metal.
Can I stop you there for a second, right? I really like Queens of the Stone Age. I really like Coyce and all them. But I am so 100% behind you with this. What the fuck it is?
I'm going to tell you this. We've said it before. I don't really like Queens of the Stone Age. Out of the whole cluster of that prick's bands, Queens of the Stone Age are obviously the best, right? They're riffy, they're fun. Realistically, I could probably put Queens of Stone Age into this list, but it's a little bit too obvious.
But I think you've done it before, but I don't get it. Yeah,
exactly, right? So Coyce, I always in my head I always thought Coyce were deadly until I sat down and listened to Coyce and realised they were dirt.
They've a few bangers, but yeah, it's just the few of the songs, like a few of the albums drag.
It just sounds like a lot of fucking high schoolers in a shed making songs.
That's the appeal of them.
But it's not good. For me anyway, it doesn't do it. So see this Eagles of Death Metal. I'm not going to lie to you, Helmet, right? Until this week, in the preparation for this podcast, I never heard a single solitary note that the Eagles of Death Metal made, right? I just knew I hated them, right?
They're so mediocre.
Well, here's the thing, right? I sat down, I was doing my list, and I done fucking White Stripes and fucking a couple of the other bands that are going to come up here now in a few minutes. And then somewhere my brain just went, Eagles of Death Metal. I went, fuck yeah, and I wrote that down, right? And I was thinking, right, what don't I like about them? And I was like, well, you better go and listen to the Eagles of Death Metal if you're going to give out about them. So I sat down, right?
You don't have to. No, you don't even have to. But yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah.
And I sat down, and I sat here for like half an hour, listening to like half song, and then half song, and then maybe a full song, and half song. And I was like, what is this fucking Weezer dark rock shite that I'm listening to?
It's not what it is, man. It's a lot of people trying to be cool.
I literally have that written down here, right?
Cool.
I have that written down in my notes.
It's so hard to be cool.
The smell of wannabe off it is shocking. Like stupid moustaches and fucking like Hawaiian shorts. Like the only short that have Bermuda shorts and flip flops on the stage, and like being so fucking laid back and cool that it's disgusting. Like,
they try so hard to look like they didn't try.
It just sounds like shit Weezer, and Weezer are already shy, right? The main dude just comes across like a fucking knob, right?
Well, that's another reason to dislike him, really, if you think about all the shit. I don't know if you want to go into that now or later.
Like, I've seen like interviews with him more than I've ever heard their music, and I was like, this bloke's fucking knobhead. And even when there was the shooting in France, and like after the gig, it's like, if this was America, it was people with guns, this never would have happened. It's like, you're fucking for real, man. Your country's getting shut up 24 hours a day. Like, shut the fuck up about mass shootings. Like.
It would have happened, and it happens. Oh, hang on, 3, 2, 1. Probably another one right now.
Exactly, right? While you're talking about it, there's another one happening. Like, it's just a fucking knobhead. What I will say about them is that their album covers and their imagery are really cool. Right, in the wrong way. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
They have this really cool concept of trying to reclaim 70s imagery.
Yeah,
and they'll pick like a big busty board, and they'll have the zip going down, and their font will be real cool with thunderbolts and shit in it. And
but they missed the boat with it.
Yeah, it's like it's not done seriously enough to look cool, and it's not done cartoony enough to be tongue in cheek. It's just this kind of pastiche of what it's trying to do. Now they have. I picked the song Miss Alyssa. Couldn't tell you what it sounds like. Right, I listened to it, and it's gone. It was gone within 5 minutes. It was just some jangly thump shit. Now the lads sound like they can play their instruments or whatever. You know, of course they're a proper band, but like the cover of this fucking album, it's an album called Peace, Love and Death Metal. So they're obviously trying to be ironic because it's the furthest thing. Baby metal are more death metal than the Eagles of Death Metal, right? And
that's the name. The name is
just stupid. It's fucking stupid, which is the first step down the wrong fucking path for me. You know what I mean?
It's like saying the fucking fucking reggae primates or something, or fucking the primal reggae fucking powerhouse or something. You're like, what?
Exactly, and
they're
a house group or something. It's just, and I'm looking at it here, and it's baby blue and baby pink, and it's got like some devil horns, kind of looking emoji things. This is dire. But when you get into like I don't know whether it's the later or the earlier albums where they have like actual graphic design work on it, there's really cool looking imagery to do with it. And if you're a fucking sap, maybe that'd be the magnet that'll draw you to this kind of rock and roll experience. You know, if you're fucking 12, 13 years of age and you've got a tenner to spend on a tape or whatever, you're gonna got a tenner to spend on an album or whatever the fuck it is, and you see something like that in a record. So as we did as kids, where we didn't have access to the internet or a lot of magazines, and sometimes you just see a cool album cover and you dish over the money and hope for the best. Fingers crossed this is going to be cool. Well, you know,
do you think that is all buying into their success of people who are easily this band, Flatter to Deceive, more than I've ever seen done in recent years.
Yeah,
they will make you think that everything about Eagles Death Metal is deadly. However, me and you and a lot of other people I know
see through it. Like,
Just sort of you see through it after we listen to it and go,
yeah,
I'm not hearing anything massive here.
Yeah, but even if they were going to be, to bring up Ghost again, if they were going to, have like a real strong imagery, real strong kind of album covers, logos, kind of fan base behind them, because they do have a big fan base and stuff like that, and they're going to make music that's slightly kind of tongue-in-cheek and kind of goes against the grain of what their name is and blah blah. Like you see the imagery for Ghost, and you see fucking Satan and Catholicism, and the font has an upside down crucifix in it, and you're like the singer wear a skull mask.
Probably like you, I can leave that behind because
absolutely I can leave that behind. But once there's some sort of juice in the song, you know what I mean? And like Ghost are 100% kind of tongue in cheek. They're the Scooby Doo band. They've been like that since the get go. That's the fun of them. But there doesn't seem to be fun in the Eagles of death metal. You look at what they're projecting out and trying to draw people in, and you go and watch some live footage or interviews with your man, and he's almost slagging you for liking them.
That's the feel I get off it.
That's the feel I get off it. Yeah.
If they had an they remind me of, like, people think that's like Electric Six. It's not. Electric Six had fine tuned a piss take.
Yeah,
and they also had straight.
I have that written down right here. Weezer meets Electric Six in this paper right here. That's it there. It says Weezer meets Electric Six is what I have written down.
I think we're on the same page with this band. Like so when I was DJing, people would ask me to stick songs on. And I'd stick a song on, right? They'd never tell me which one, so I would just sort of have a guess off that. The Pink and Blue album, the cover.
That's the one I'm talking about. That's Peace, Love, Death Metal. Yeah.
So I figure picking any song off the first 5 songs off that will get me some sort of hit.
Some sort of banger.
Sometimes what you have to do as a DJ.
2, 4, and 5 usually, yeah.
And the people who said they were massive fans don't know what that is. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Are you serious? Yeah, I can't. Do you know what? I can't actually talk about the Eagles death metal anymore. Who's your next one? Because I'm getting angry thinking about that cunt's little face. His little rat face.
So this band are technically proficient. Do you know what? I'm going to sound exactly like I'm describing Queen right now, right? Technically proficient. Lead singer's an absolutely incredible range. They write songs that I'm looking from the outside going, if it was a video game, I'd be like, that's a well-designed map. But when I go and drive on it, for some reason, I don't like it. And it's the darkness.
Don't get it.
I don't really... Like, I no, here's the one. I think I do get them, but I don't like them. I don't like the darkness. I think if they've one song maybe I like, and I know deep in my heart that I Believe in a Thing Called Love is a Queen-esque. It's up there with a Queen song. But again, I don't like Queen songs really that much either.
I know, going back to the Feeder debacle, I know one person whose favourite band is The Darkness.
Right, yeah, that'd surprise me now. They've only got like 2 albums or something.
I have no idea. I
Joy
know.
Division have only really 2 albums, 3 if you really count the
they were good though and important.
Yeah, and they were like nothing else.
And there's a legend attached to them.
Oh, here's one for you. Here, I just figured out the exact band, and The Darkness are even better than these. People who say that this next band are their favourite band terrify me. Airborne.
Oh, wow, man. Wow.
Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, wow.
You're like you prefer them over AC/DC, the band that they're basically covering.
They're covering, like, are you fucking for real? Like, yeah, I don't get it. I think I know why. Because especially here in Dublin, there used to be a thing that when Airborne would play Dublin, they'd go on the piss, right? And I've been on the piss with Airborne, right? I never heard a note they fucking played while I was out with them. I was out the piss with them twice because they'd drop into pubs that I was drinking in, and they'd hang out with everybody, and like they'd buy a drink or two for people, and people buy drinks for them, and people would get rock and roll stories. And when they first started coming over, they were supporting other bands, and eventually they kind of worked their way up to like headlining the Academy or something like that, you know, a couple of hundred people.
Or the Olympia,
exactly. Yeah. And what would happen is people who had been out in the piss with them would fucking like, oh, they're me mates. And they tell their mates, me mates are playing.
Another thing we have to remember, that's definitely a huge thing. I've heard that.
Yeah.
That happened with Stone Sour when they went out drinking with everybody. Like, you know, well then, you know, Stone Sour are actually alright as well. Like, but I think another thing is, and we have to remember, it's those person's favourite band because they're young. They're in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
And yes, AC/DC are old, but my favourite band isn't fucking Frank Zappa. but it might be Mr. Bungle. And other people will go, oh, why would you listen to that when Frank Zappa was doing the same thing? So I can kind of get it in some ways.
You get that now with that Greta Van Fleet band as well, that are Led Zeppelin. Are.
They are.
Like, they literally are. They're not even remotely not close. They dress up like them.
They're super talented at what they do.
Yeah.
And they do a very, very good cover of Adele's Rolling in the Deep. But when I listen to them, I'm like, the banging manufactured off it. It hurts.
Yeah, they're like industry plants almost.
I still care about that. That's the thing that pissed me off about metal. I do care about something overly manufactured. Oh yeah. And people will go, what about Sex Pistols? I go, yeah, I don't really like them either.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
The darkness. There's nothing particularly really wrong with them. I think what happened was, right, I remember people came up to me at a party one time and go, there's a new band out, they're going to be your favourite band. And that might have set off a bad chain.
Don't do that.
I don't like being told shit.
You're
like
going
that.
to love them.
And I heard them, I was like, I believe in a thing. I was like, they're a piss take band, like Tenacious D. They're taking the piss, and they're like, no, like they're just like kind of recreating that. I'm like, but you can't recreate that without looking like a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
not really. Now people will go, what are you doing with the whole 80s thing? I have to admit, the synthwave thing is a little bit different. You're taking a very niche part of the 80s, which was movie soundtracks.
Yeah, that wasn't that big to begin with.
It wasn't big at all, and
it's definitely bigger now than it was.
And even me doing 80s music, I'm like, but that wasn't. There's something less atrocious. But now some people might disagree. Going, no, it's the exact same thing, and it's embarrassing that you do 80s music, 80s style music. That's grand. But I kind of get a weird thing about the 70s, like when it was happening in the 2000s. I'm like, they're dressing like them. I don't dress like the fucking 80s. It's the dressing it as well. It's all weird.
Yeah,
it's cosplay. It's cosplay a bit.
Musical cosplay is definitely a real thing, and it's painful.
Yeah,
it's painful.
Well, look, I can't give much more. Oh, another thing is the darkness. I suppose I was trying to think about things that Oxygen. When I went to see David Bowie, he cancelled, and the darkness came in.
What a replacement! Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
like get fucked.
That might add to this as well. I feel like it's irrational. There's nothing particularly wrong with this band.
Yeah.
Grown on Me is okay. Get Your Hands Off My Woman is a good song.
Yeah. That Christmas song isn't the worst. I hated it for a while. I don't hate it now.
Again, nothing against it, but I hate the darkness. I hate look, when I see a picture of them, I get annoyed. So I'll figure it out for next week. We'll go through it. Please. But that's an irrational dislike, because I don't really think that bad or anything. But you know what? They grind my gears, man. They grind my gears. Here's your next one.
My next one is a big one that people are going to hate on me for, and this is the one I think out of all of them that I desperately want to be proved wrong on, and I really dislike Gorillaz.
That's mad.
I just can't. Every time I hear a Gorillaz song, I want to set myself on fire. And
that's quite strong.
I have this like deep dislike for Gorillaz. I feel like people are overlooking the fact that this band, like the music, is made by a load of 50-year-old outlaws and not a cartoon. And like, I look at him, like James Hewlett, who does all the drawing, right, who made Tank Girl and all that shit, he's in the band. The band is essentially Damon Albarn from Blur and Jamie Hewlett, the artist, right? Both of them were born in 1968.
Dan the Automator.
But they're all blow-ins. I was reading about it. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, right.
It's just them two and everybody else, because Mick Jones and all is in the band, and he's like 1955. Like, these are all our lads. You know what I mean?
Mick Jones from The Clash.
Yeah, he's played on loads of Gorillaz songs.
Didn't even know that.
And because it's like a collective, like it's supposed to be the world's first virtual band. You know, and I think I get that, but I still can't separate the fucking artist from the art in this regard. There's so much going on. The songs are real long. All the songs are like 5-6 minutes long, and they're mad repetitive. And I hate the characters. I hate their stupid faces. Whatever they're called. They bother the shit out of me. I hate when they play a gig that it's like fucking holograms or whatever it is. And I don't know how they can play gigs. I hate the fact that the first album was written on an iPad in the back of a bus. I just hate it all. Like, I really do. And
I don't buy into, and I think the visuals are great now, but I don't care about any of that.
No,
I honestly, actually, that sort of put me off because I thought it was a bit daft. If I'm being honest, the way you did. But I actually, when I got the first two albums, I think are great musically.
I just wish it was them lads. I wish they sold it as a cool collective of musicians that wanted to do like hip hop, Afro, funk, fucking whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I wish they'd just say, "Hi, I'm Damon Albarn from Blur. I'm fucking 55 years of age," or whatever he is, and here are all my 50 and 60-year-old pals, and we want to make music that's not like the other music that we're known for, and we want to have a bit of crack with it. And here's Jamie Hewlett, who's me mate, and he's going to do our album covers and stuff like that. I wish there just wasn't a virtual band. I wish that, because I've seen a couple of music videos and they like got like stories for the characters and I just hate it. Dan the Automator's in it. He was fucking amazing. Del the Funky Homo Sapiens in it. He was amazing. Everybody who's in it is really good. Like, I love Blur. I love everybody in it. I like Mick Jones. I all the moving parts I'm a fan of. It's just what gets churned out the other end of that machine does nothing for me. The opposite. Like, it makes me feel bad emotions. And I wish I didn't feel like that.
Yeah, well, like, this is what it breaks down to. People can like give us shit over that. You shouldn't, because we'll destroy it. But no, you should actually on the chat. But you all have them as well. You all have these bands that you know that you can't fucking put your finger on why you don't like them. Most edgelords have it with the Beatles. I can't give a real good reason as to why I like them. But other people have probably wrecked them on you, and the fact that they're the biggest band in the world ever, and they will always be the biggest band in the world ever, probably wrecks their head. But we're trying here, and we'll try even better in the next episode.
Absolutely.
When we get down to it. We'll do what we did with the B-sides. We'll give loads of stuff a listen. We'll read more stuff. But we both thought coming in with the raw emotion first of this was a better idea, because honestly, if I started reading loads of stuff that were cool, I'd forget about what I didn't like.
Exactly.
In the first place.
The hatred and dislike would just be replaced by cool facts. And sometimes a lot of cool facts and trivia is enough to make it be interesting in a band. And that's for next week. That's for next week. This like week is for...
oh shit, I didn't know that they did a song with her and she's amazing and I must listen to that. And I listen to it and then I'm like, oh, that's so good. Yeah, exactly.
This is just a brain dump here tonight. But yeah, Gorillaz, I really, really don't like it. And I should, because it's kind of eclectic, interesting music.
To be fair, I know a lot of people that don't like it at all.
Here's the issue. I don't know fucking jack shit about it. You know what I mean? Because I don't like it, I never properly listen to it. I've never sat down and listened to a full Gorillaz album. Like, I know that's Clint Eastwood, and it's Clint Eastwood the fucking ba 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 song.
That's
I'm dying of fire, that song. Sunshine. I used to play that in Pillar Bar, and every mutant at the kip would be up dancing, and it's about an hour long. And
the rap from Dan the Automator in it is so good, though.
It was good. It was long enough. Fair play to him with his big long rap, because I got to go for a smoke and a piss when that song was on. And I probably know a lot of other songs.
A cage.
Yeah. I just, it's not for me. Who was your next one?
Journey.
Don't stop.
I don't like them.
I don't know about them.
I don't know much about them. I know actually a little bit. I'll tell you what I do know about Journey is, right? They lost their lead singer. See, this is the great thing. I don't need to note dates or names and do that. I have to do that in the next one.
Exactly.
I'm
sorry for yawning. I had a fucking day and a half. Right. I even drank a coffee out of my fucking Sex Pistols mug to try and get a bit jazzed, but it's fading now. The reason I bollocks is because I had a meeting with the landlord today and I drank about 8 coffees. Right. I'm having the dip now. But tell me about Journey.
Don't Stop Believing is obviously a big, massive, huge classic rock song. Could even be in most people's top 10s. I don't like that song.
I like it a lot.
Here's the thing. I don't know if I like the song or not. I just know that, and I've said this before, that is a passport into rock. Now, before people accuse me of gatekeeping, I don't care who comes and goes from rock at all. But unfortunately, when you're working in a rock bar, you get people coming up and asking for that song. So, Grant, you placate them and you play the song, and then they want more, but they don't know anything about what they want.
Yeah.
And they go, what about Journey again? I'm like, so that's what I'm talking about.
Just that one song.
That passport into... If this song didn't exist, they may actually have just walked by the rock bar.
100%.
Which would have been better.
For everybody.
For them and me and everyone involved. Yeah. So, and honestly, if I think about the structure of the song, it's well put together song. It's grand. I don't really like their other fucking song. Any Way You Want It. It's too happy.
Is that them as well, is it? I kind of like that as well. I didn't know that was
you probably love Journey. Now, they have a song I absolutely love. I'll get into that next week. But overall, I just don't like Journey. I just don't like the feel of most of their songs.
I hate the verse in the song. Just a small town girl. I hate that. Yeah. I hate that verse.
To me, that just sounds like B-side Bon Jovi, which I can
garbage.
put up with.
Like, give me the chorus and all that, and the music.
Johnny used to work at the docks.
Yeah,
it's
not for me. You were saying something about the singer. The singer, what?
Singer left, and they hired a YouTube cover band singer of the guy, and he's good. I think he's from Philippines.
Sounds like Queen.
Think about it. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with what they did, and your man is fucking so good. Like.
Actually, didn't the singer from Journey go on to sing with Queen for a while? He did.
Possibly.
I think he did. No, it was Free, wasn't it?
No, you're thinking of the singer from Free.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing all right now.
Yeah.
Got a few bob in his pocket. I'm trying to think of his fucking name.
Can't remember.
I know the lead singer of the Cult did as well, and your man Adam, the guy who's they took off YouTube or one of those.
Yeah, the Voice things. Or whatever the fuck. The
Voice. Yeah,
we've talked about this before. That Roger Taylor and Brian May should just have Queen taken off them. We understand what they're trying to do. You know, let the new people hear Queen, and at least they're not making new material. That would be horrific. But just it should be taken off them. You know.
You see, for Queen themselves, I don't really care, but I could understand why Queen fans would want that. I kind of wanted it with Star Trek and Star Trek. I just did that thing. Oh, you said Star Trek. Star Wars and fucking George Lucas. Like, get that out of his hands now.
Yeah,
he's not able for it anymore. It's like, I don't know. It's like your granddad making this incredible piece of pottery, but while he's holding it, he ages so much that he's about to drop it. So you try and grab it off him, so he doesn't drop.
Show it off to everybody else. Look at me, granddad made.
Look at granddad made this. But if I had to let him hold it on for 5 more minutes, it'd be on the ground in pieces.
You can make one for you as well if you like.
But not anymore. You can't make it anymore. That's the problem. We just caught him. We caught fire in a bottle there, and then he nearly dropped the bottle.
Yeah,
and he built a ship in the bottle.
Even the bassist from Queen's like, "Nah, I'm moving to the country, lads. Stick it up your hole. Like nothing to do with just I'm out. I'm fucking out."
I think sometimes my dislike of Journey is carried on by my dislike of Journey, and I've said it so much that now it's become a thing. That can be a thing as well.
Oh yeah,
where I've painted myself into an anti-Journey corner,
like repercussional Journey hatred. It's
and people bring it up all the time. They're like, and they not like. I run that fucking metal karaoke night, and that is the most significant song that I don't have. Because I hate... because
Mutants will be looking for it.
Mutants would ruin it, all of them. And you would get some great singers singing it.
Doesn't matter.
But it is...
If you can't listen to it, during night.
No. Exactly, I'll do what I want. People still can anyway. I'll try to find something about Journey that I like. I'll try and diminish the irrational hatred from, because I haven't even said one thing that's really bad about them.
Yeah.
Them as a band.
You just don't like it?
Whenever someone mentions Journey or asks for Journey, I just cringe and I hate it.
Yeah.
So it is irrational. I know it's irrational if I can't put my finger on it. So look, fuck it. Who's your next one?
Okay, so I really like Paul Weller's solo stuff, and it's great, and I really like the Jam, but I cannot abide the Style Council.
It's not good music.
It's just I can't do it. I don't know who it's aimed at. I don't know what it's meant to be. It's this wishy-washy 80s music that's like Weller done too much drugs or something and went, I don't want to make kind of post-punk anymore, and I don't want to be...
Is it pop music, is it, or something?
I don't know. It's mod music, which is postmodernism. By its very core, it's kind of artsy, you know, like the visual aspect of it is very important. If Jam are like the kind of early mod band, even though essentially they were a fucking punk band, with the lads that were kind of not rowing with a good bit. But there's something about the Style Council that, first of all, loads of songs that I didn't even know were Style Council songs are Style Council songs, right? Like I sat down with Spotify the other night and I was like, right, let me just make sure that I really don't like Style Council. And I banged on a load of songs like I hadn't a clue that was Style Council, and I still fucking hate it. I thought it was actually good for me. I got rid of about 8 bands that I hated because I found out it was the one band. I made more room for other bands to hate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I got WinZip out and I got compressed all these bands when I found out that loads of these songs that I hate are the Style Council. I just don't know. I don't know who it's for.
I'll even add them to my list to try and get into them because I don't. Do you know that what they did in 1998?
No.
They released. Well, they didn't release because they weren't allowed. They were told not to release a house album.
That sounds like something they do.
And they released it a few years later because Paul Weller was like, should have released it at the time. It was way ahead of its time, or it was, it was relevant then.
Was it though? Was it? Like, here's what I think of when I think of Style Council. I think it's a version of, it's like a version of the Jam for middle-aged people who grew up listening to the Jam but are now stuck in the kitchen making chicken nuggets and fish fingers for their children and can't go out anymore.
Maybe it's the New Order to Joy Division.
It almost certainly is. But there's loads of New Order stuff that's savage. But there's the difference between fucking New Order song A and New Order song B is fucking massive in some cases, But the Style Council always had that. Like, everything sounds the fucking same. Not song wise, instruments all sound the same, and I don't know. Whenever I think of the Style Council, I just think of a waterfall of squares and triangles. If that makes any sense, it's just this. Like, I have a visual representation of the Style Council in my head, and it's just weird, brightly coloured shapes falling off a ledge, and everything is just kind of. I'm
gonna give them a bash within the mix actually because I'm interested to see if I don't like them.
I reckon.
I don't think I like them. I remember.
Yeah,
you know what it is. I don't really like the Jam, and I don't like Paul Weller. Him like as a dude.
He's stupid looking. That's my main hatred of Paul Weller is that he's fucking stupid looking.
I absolutely have to say I love his solo.
He has some unreal solo stuff. I just wish he'd get a normal haircut and be a real person. He's just stupid looking. There's no need for someone in their 60s or whatever he is, probably 70s, to look like that. There's no need for it.
But he's the mod father, so he's
nonsense. You can dress, you look sharp, wear a suit or whatever, dress sharp. Just sort that fucking hair out, man. It was stupid looking back then, and it's stupid looking now.
It is a bit weird that a lot of haircuts go away, from the 80s.
This one didn't.
Yeah, I saw a guy at Tesco the other day with the mod.
I know 20 lads in their 40s with them haircuts now.
To me now, it just seems it's jarring a little bit because I'm not. I'm wondering are they putting? Do they think they're deadly and cool?
Yeah.
Maybe they do, but who doesn't think they're cool? They're cool with whatever haircut they have on. That's not. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but when I see it, I'm like, it puts me off. I'm thinking this guy might be a dickhead.
Everybody who has that haircut is dying to tell you about the time they took 10 yolks in a tent in the field. That's a fact. Every single one of them wants to tell you about fucking, they drank 20 cans last night and listened to fucking records, and they'll tell you about the time they were at some fucking rave or festival and they took 10 yolks and fucking got a lift home the back of a tractor or something because they're mad. It's definitely part of that kind of British music culture kind of schwa, that fucking big swinging dick fucking thing. But a lot of that I think comes from the image. Like, the Jam were part of the mod culture where, they had the fucking anoraks and all that type of shit, kind of cool looking street wear, to go up against the kind of the rockers, the rockabilly style, and then they try the punks in who were kind of 50-50 on both sides. And then you get to the Style Council where it's drain pipe fucking slacks that are cut off at the bleeding ankle, and periwinkle fucking pointy shoes, and
I always sort of think that they're like turtlenecks with the gold chains.
Yeah. There's just something about it. They just all look like they should be doing fucking cocaine on a cruise somewhere.
Well, the Style Council didn't have the mod look, didn't they? Not.
It was like this weird, what they thought it was going to turn into. You'll get, like, you talk to mods, and you talk to someone who's a fucking mod. They'll love the jam, and they'll talk about the Style Council positively, but only because Paul Weller is their god, not necessarily because of the music. If you get me,
he seems like a bit of a shithead to me, Paul Weller. But
I don't. I've seen interviews with him, and I've seen interviews with him where he's lovely, and I've seen interviews where he's a crabby cunt. But he's old now, and as you get older, yourself, you say whatever you fucking want. What's the matter?
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. But listen, the Style Council, I just can't avoid them. They're not for me. But I know in my heart, I bet you, I even have this written down, I bet you there's gold buried in there somewhere.
I reckon there is. That's what I'm saying. I might go in on you. I might go in on you.
Go split on it.
I might go in on that with you. Yeah. To have a look. I might.
Yeah. Right. Who was your next one?
Glory Hammer. Shall we just move on after this?
Yeah.
Like Glory Hammer, I don't know what to say about them. I honestly don't know what to say about them. I don't. The most I can say about Glory Hammer is when I hear the name, when I see a photo, when I hear someone talking about them, or even hear a snippet of a song, I go, ugh.
Is Glory Hammer the Diggy Diggy Hole band?
No.
Okay. Are they like a Diggy Diggy Hole band?
That's Windrose. Not really. They're like they'll share some of the same fan base, but they are.
I don't think I know anything about Glory Hammer.
They're part of Ailstorm. They're another band of your man from Ailstorm, but this is like futuristic Warhammery type of symphonic power metal.
Okay, I feel sick.
I know. That's why I don't.
After just hearing that description, I'm going to have to go and take 2 Imodium.
Yeah, so I don't really, to be honest with you, want to hang around Glory Hammer too much because I know fuck all. But I have to put them in. If nothing, this makes it the most irrational dislike of them all. Yeah. I know so little, and I can visualize so little, but I get a real strong when I see and hear anything about them, and I haven't even heard that much. And I just think that's another. They're an internet band or something.
Maybe.
That's not fair because they put in loads of effort with Ailstorm for like a decade or something like that doing festivals. And Ailstorm are pirate metal folky
garbage. It's the worst.
It's to me, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I have a feeling that the more I delve into Glory Hammer, the more I will hate it, and the less it will become irrational, and the more it will become very, very irrational.
Is it music that people who play a lot of video games like?
Yes, it's mixed in with that.
There you go. That's honestly, a whole subgenre.
I could come out of this with loads of respect for them. I could find out something.
Bet you won't.
Again, we're pushing the irrational aspect and the ignorant. We're being ignorant. Everyone's like this with some bands. You're just being ignorant. Everyone's like this with some bands, but a lot of people won't admit it. They'll go, "No, I hate them because of this," and they won't actually give an answer. You're like, what do you not like about them? Well, mostly people will be like that about the Beatles. And like, what is it you don't like? I just think they're shite. They're overrated. Overrated doesn't give you a reason to hate a band.
Yeah, and it's hard not to. It's also not a reason. It's not. It's not a legitimate reason because it can't be quantified.
No, exactly, yeah. Right. So look, we're going to move off Glory Hammer, and hopefully we'll come back next week and I'll have more information as to what they are. But right now, I can tell you right now, I cringe at the thought of them.
Yeah.
And it might be completely irrational and it might be completely unfair. We'll find out. We'll find out next week. But I know right now that that's a band that pops into my head of, do you know what? Do you know how all these power metal songs go? They start with a drum splash and an arpeggio guitar, right? So it's like, then it breaks down to and the night and the cities and the fire on the light, and then it goes, and then but what they do is, right, when they break into the chorus will sound completely different.
Yeah,
like they'll change, go from like minor to major, and like, and I will fly up the ways of the road, and you're like, that wasn't nothing like the first bit. I actually put up with the first bit because it was like
He's technically proficient and not cheap like the chorus.
But then chorus is just fucking what Lady Gaga does. Just put this big cheap singy chorus and on the way I will find another way. And then they'll end with dun dun. Because I am the back in the. That's every fucking power metal song ever existed, ever. And it's not even like the worst thing ever. There's 100. I'd listen to that over fucking reggae for a while. Like, actually, if depend on longevity. If someone said I had to listen to 5 hours of power metal or 2 hours of reggae, I'd take the 2 hours of reggae because that would not hurt my brain as much.
Yeah, it would balance out a little bit. Yeah.
So look, we'll move off Glory Hammer, and I swear I'll give you more information. I couldn't give you anything else. The costumes look silly; they look like a video game. But whatever. Go on. Who's your next one?
My next one is I'm gonna get loads of hate over this as well. It's the Stone Roses.
They're one of my favourite bands of all time.
I don't know what to say.
I feel like trying to change your mind now about them.
Let me explain why I don't like the Stone Roses. And before I had the pub, I kind of looked at the Stone Roses with a little bit of reverence, where it was like these lads kind of done their own thing and had their own sound, and you know, it's kind of post Smith's fucking kind of depression drug pop, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I knew a couple of songs. I think I had maybe the first record or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I was never so big of a fan that I run out and buy the gear. I think I probably have all that stuff on CD, but chances are I got it for like £1 or I bought it second hand or something. But in the 10 years of having the pub, I can't. I actually just can't.
But you know what? They have very, very bad fans.
Yeah, and I believe it's the fans that have turned me on them more than anything else. Because
wouldn't be surprised. And you know what fucking annoys me about the fans? They will go for the absolute happiest, obvious songs by Stone Roses. But Stone Roses are honestly like a double-headed fucking sword.
Yeah.
Or double-headed dragon, double-sided sword. I sound like a Glory Hammer song. Double-headed dragon sword. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, it's not your fault, is what I'm trying to say, Gareth. It's not your fault.
Yeah, like I know all the fucking the big songs and the, you know, I Want to Be Adored and all that kind of shit, and you know, it's fine. It's a bit long. It's fine, but there's something about hanging around with the people who are obsessed with Stone Roses, where basically they're all trying to relive the glory days of thinking they were mad because they went to like guitar music shows and raves. And I had to listen to them talk about, we went to see David Bowie on a Friday night, and when that was over we went out to Westmeath to a rave in a barn, and then we went to the Early House, and we done.
I never got that either.
It's just something about the kind of original Stone Roses fucking mank fucking Britpop depressed heads, where it was like druggy rock and roll, and now they're all dads and granddads, and they go out for fucking 2 or 3 pints, and they're trying to blag fucking coke and pills off people because they have,
you know what? I think you're right. I think you're right in the sense that now, unfortunately, more than any other band I can think of right now, Stone Roses are a nostalgia band.
Yeah.
Actually, can't think of them and Happy Mondays are actually. Do you know what? The nostalgia burst from everyone is overtaken how good that band is.
Yeah, like everybody who's a Happy Mondays fan is a Stone Roses fan. Like there's no I like them and don't like them. Like from the original crew, like there's nobody from back then who in the late 80s, early 90s when Stone Roses were fucking at their height. There's nobody who was like going to see Stone Roses who wasn't going to see Happy Mondays and continuing on with Black Grape and all that kind of shit. There was just this. There was definitely a crossover. But you'll never hear people talking about Happy Mondays being their favourite band. They're just one of the the bands that they had posters on their wall for. If the Stone Roses took up 70% of the real estate, and fucking the rest of it was fucking, you know, Happy Mondays, Black Grape, fucking, you know, call them out and fucking shout them, you know. And I think it's those people that when I hear a Stone Roses song now, or someone puts one on, or it comes up in shuffle play or something like that, I just see these grey-haired men wearing fucking anoraks sitting on the other side of the pub, trying to be cool, and it hurts me.
Early Stone Roses, the first Stone Roses album embodies youth.
Yeah,
it's a very young. So the older they get, like, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, this is it is. We are being really irrational about this, but when I know what you're saying, like if I stuck on this, if I was under 20 years older than I am now, and I stuck on the Stone Roses album, I'd be sitting there listening, going, "God, it's really good songwriting." But going to a pub and shouting and jumping around for it, it sort of seems silly to me.
It's just stupid.
That's ageist and bitter for me. But I'm talking about myself. I'd be embarrassed if I was doing that, because it's not like, I don't know what bands you could do that with. If I jump around to Gary Newman, I don't feel so stupid. But I know what you mean. You're falling into that, like, we all did drugs and we did this song.
Yeah, and they just they have to remind you. It's a bit like the Paul Weller crew, where they have to remind you about how mad things were back then and how we're shite now. Because we grew up with these bands and that band, and I'm like, you'd be talking to someone like, you're literally 10 years older than me. Like, you're nothing older than me. You know what I mean? If you were 70 maybe, and you were an entire, whatever, generation ahead of me, but like, I'm 40 years of age, man. And they talk to you like you're fucking 8. And it's a problem. There's nothing worse than somebody telling you that fucking, oh, you missed that and you missed this, and so what would you know about blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? There's nothing, you lose your mind with people talking down to you like that.
I know you're going to get into this, right, when we do the second one, but I will say this, right, nobody talks about their second album, and it's fucking deadly.
Is that the second one?
Because they made it, it's a really dark, bluesy sort of rock album, and it wrecked the fans' heads.
That'd be more, it sounds like it's more on my speed now then.
It's, and there's some dark, brilliant fucking songs.
Is there only 2 albums, or is there more?
There's 2 official albums,
and then there's the one with the
loads
isn't it?
That's the great
collection.
hits.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
I don't know Jack Ship.
That has a load. You see, their early B-sides were so good, you could almost make an album out of that as well.
Yeah, Nirvana job.
But honestly, I think you might find that. I'll say that now.
They're the one on this list that I'm 100% know I'm wrong about. Like Gorillaz, I hope I'm wrong about Gorillaz. But I know I'm wrong about Stone Roses, and that's my fault for not putting the work in and having that group soured for me by other people, if you get me. That's the same reason I didn't listen to Type O Negative for years. The reason I didn't listen to Tool for years is because these bands were soured by people who gave me the entire plot of the fucking movie in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And didn't let me expose myself to them and kind of cop on to what they were trying to do myself at my own pace. They were ruined for me. Even though I knew a bit of them back in the day, like when I was in secondary school, there was people who were obsessed with them, and you know, it might have been there someone brought in a pair of battery powered speakers for the Walkman, and you know, we'd all sit around in the fucking in a football field listening to music on our lunch break or whatever it is, and someone definitely had Stone Roses and stuff like that back then, and I listened to it and I thought, holy shit, that's pretty good or whatever. But in the last 10 years of working in that pub, whatever experience and like and fucking esteem I had for that group was deleted and replaced by fucking hatred for their, by a certain subsect of their fans.
Yeah, and unfortunately their music sounds like their fans. It's weird. I can't help them, but I think you'll find, you see, when their second album came out years and years later, everyone was waiting and waiting and waiting on it. The media hated it and the fans hated it, and I actually think it's deadly because that came out when I was already just getting into them.
Yeah,
I
got re-upped. Like, yeah, sometimes that happens.
The early bit because I wasn't around for it. I wasn't around for it. Fool's Gold came out and I loved it. It's a great song, but I wasn't into the Stone Roses until a bit later, and then I was around when they did the second album or came out with the second album because it's in the 90s, and I was like, I don't know why people hate this. I think it's deadly. But it's
1989 was the first album, was it? And then 1994 for Second Coming.
No. like 88 for the first.
It might have been 88. It says 89 on Spotify and 94 for a second coming, but their dates are a bit.
Yeah.
Their dates are always a bit rough.
Yeah, it's interesting. I can see why you wouldn't.
Yeah, like I said, I want to be wrong, and I will most certainly. This week that'll be one of the ones I concentrate on, 100%. But I'm almost certain that I know I'm wrong in myself. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you turn around and you say, like, they're great, you love them, but until I take that upon myself to say, like, oh no, I actually, like, I'm not fooling myself.
We know each other too well to just be able to say you should like this. It's worked with us a few times. We've done it on each other, but also we don't like doing it to each other because I don't like when people do it to us.
Yeah, to like it, to like that. Yeah.
You will like this. You should like this. No, listen to this and that.
Someone gives you the headphones and fucking stares into your eyes.
Sometimes it's okay to just go through life where you didn't get that band.
Exactly, and that's fine.
Didn't like them. And maybe it's the same with people. You might be wrong about people that you worked with, that you lived with, that whatever. But sometimes you can't fucking make everything right.
Exactly.
We will try and make this right, though, is what we're going to try and do.
Exactly.
I'd sooner do it with music than loads of people I know. But
yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm old enough now. The way I always talk about people is if they were that sound, I'd know them already. So, who was your next one?
It's my last one, and it's Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip, because it's the stupidest fucking name I've ever heard in my life. I can't. That
Scroobius Pip cunt, right? Is he doing voices in video games?
I don't really like him either.
He just has this voice that's either distinctly his or the same as every other fucking cunt his age in England. Like, I'm playing Call of Duty and there's one character in Call of Duty that sounds exactly like Scroobius Pip. And I was like, alright mate, yeah, what? And fucking, but like his stupid Weasley version of it. And he's in that Debris show I'm watching, and he's just Scroobius Pip in it. Like, he's not playing himself, but he's meant to be an army dude or something like that. But every time he talks, it's like, you know, he's chewing on a fucking mouthful of cashew nuts.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
Oh, he's an actor now as well. And I tried to listen to his podcast. I cannot listen to his podcast because every time he'll bring someone in to tell a story about the time that the plane they were flying crashed, and he'll spend the entire podcast talking about times he was on planes.
Like over them.
Over them. By the end, it was like, "Oh, your plane crashed, mate. Yeah. Oh, shit one." The end. Like, he's brutal.
Oh man,
he's
no
brutal.
Way.
It's like, and you were selling drugs for years. Oh, I done so many drugs, right? And he tell a load of drug stories, and your man's just there scratching his hole. Should have stayed at home.
My God, that's what Alan Partridge does.
Yeah,
like literally. So, like, I remember years and years ago. This must be what 10 years ago or whatever. People were like, "Have you heard Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip?" And I went, first of all, Dan Lasac, what does that mean? Like, in the bed? Is it French, or is his name Dan, or is he mixing the two together? Dan in the bed. Either way, that sounds stupid. And I know Scroobius Pip is some sort of a philosophical reference or whatever like that. I think it sounds fucking stupid.
It is.
Scroobius Pip. It's just a bang of fucking ponciness off it. Right, here's the thing.
Thelonious
I remember.
Monk. I think
that sounds kind of cool, though.
It is kind of cool, but he's going for that type of feel for it, I think.
He's going for that, exactly, yeah. So I remember not listening to anything based on the name, and I know people that agree with me. They go, I don't care if this is the next best thing in the world. I can't with that name.
I couldn't.
How irrational is that? Like,
well, you couldn't even tell people who you like. Like, who do you like? I'm not telling you. I like Scroobius Pip.
Dan Lasac featuring Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip. So anyway, I remember hearing then years later he did a song on his own about like the commandments of life or something. Do you remember that, where he's walking through town telling people what to do?
This is Scroobius Pip. He's talking about not cheating on his wife. He has a song about, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, and I never cheated on my fucking wife. And it's an entire song of him talking about shit that he doesn't do. That's like his commandments in life. I played on one of the live shows a few weeks ago, and it's torturous.
I saw that before, and everybody was sharing it. Thou shalt always kill. Is that the name of the song? I think
that might be that. I'll tell you exactly what it is, because it's one of his top songs. I'm looking at it here. The Struggle.
No, I think it's that thou shalt always kill.
One. I think it's thou shalt kill or something like that. You could be right.
And
anyway, yeah.
All I remember the lyrics are something like, "Thou shalt not steal if there is a direct victim. Thou shalt not worship pop idols or follow lost prophets." Listen to this thing. Who the fuck is this lad?
He doesn't have a lot of listens on Spotify.
But right, so right, so that's the first thing is you heard his music now. Then I heard this, and I think it's Dan Lasac and him as well. And I heard I watched it on TV or something like that. And I was like, that's the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so cringy.
Yeah, it's like a shit version of the Streets.
Yes, exactly like that. Yeah, or mixed with Baz Luhrmann fucking always wears sunscreen. Mixed with that, but then people going, have you heard
me
his
in
podcast?
the kitchen at parties?
Have you heard his podcast? And I went, no. And someone sent me a clip. I was 15 seconds into it, and I went, his voice is wrecking my head. Yeah. And he seems to be like thinking he's some sort of more down to earth version of Russell Brand or something. Yeah. And I'm not really feeling it. So all of that is fairly. Some of that. The name is Irrational. His song, he might have a better song than that. But honestly, I've steered so clear of these two lads, but mostly this lad.
They were put on the Give Us Your Songs playlist that's still going. Somebody put Dan, it might even have been this song. They put a Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip and there's some other fucking EJ. Someone put a load of kind of white English rappers on the Listen to These Songs playlist.
We should go back to that at some stage.
Oh, we absolutely will. It's great fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is great fun because we don't have to tell you that the songs are good, and also we're not right or wrong. It's just our opinion, exactly. much like this episode.
Exactly.
But I will. This is the one that's going to hurt me the most to go through.
I'm just looking I wanted to see.
I'll have to go through there. That's Scroobius.
Okay, so Thou Shalt Always Kill is Dan Lasac versus Scroobius Pip. That's that song you were talking about. The song,
verses. That's the verses bit annoys me even more because it's not verses. They're releasing the song together.
Exactly. Fuck off. The song I'm talking about is called The Struggle, and it's just Scroobius Pip, where he's talking about not cheating on his wife, and I like a glass of wine with my dinner, and that's about it, whatever. And it's just he's not even barely rapping. Like I feel like it's gonna sound real bad, but I feel like me and you could put out a rap song tomorrow that was equally as good as something Scroobius Pip does.
Well, especially if, what is it, some sort of wholesome thing? That's like when Family Guy did Will Smith. Wipe your feet when you come in. Your mother just clean that floor. Like I don't need to hear about people riding and shooting each other. However, that's deadly.
Yeah, don't need mundane shit either.
But that is, you know what, man? People telling me how they live. I don't need to hear that. Is it ironic? Is it going over my head? I'll find out next week. I'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I always compare that kind of stuff to the Streets, who I think done it first and better.
But I don't think the Streets have ever gone, you should do this. I don't. Maybe they did.
No, he was always very kind of self-depreciating, like don't mug yourself and shit like that. He was always very realistic and grim. And even the way he portrayed himself, just a bloke wearing like a fucking shitty Burberry top, drinking fucking.
Yeah, I always thought the Streets was grand. I know a lot of people hate it.
I think rockers and all that. A grand don't come for free and stuff like that are fantastic. Like they're very of the time. For me, they're like a
very of the time.
Kind of an electronic version of the Fun-Loving Criminals. You know what I mean? To me, where if you listen to it now, you're like, "Fuck me, man!" Because I was obsessed with those first two Fun-Loving Criminals albums when they came out. I thought they was the greatest things I've ever heard. They're brilliant,
but they didn't. They
didn't age well, and the Streets is the same. And I think he released something a while ago. I heard it, and it's just, sorry, mate. Like your granddad now or something. Just give it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because all the songs are about having egg, beans, and chips in a cafe. Which is alright. I've done that, but it's too. It's mundane. But he'll find a way.
There's certain things I want to relate to that I forget about, like certain types of pain in my life, maybe. But like if someone's reminding me that eggs and beans and chips are nice in a cafe, I tune out.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's interesting. A lot of British rappers like that. I find
that you're not unearthing anything in me by saying
very much so.
You're probably paraphrasing. Look, we'll fix all this, or make it worse next week.
Yeah. Let's see. My last one is garbage that I think I could like, but I don't.
Fuck, for a second minute I thought you meant garbage. I was like, what are you talking about?
No. The band, it's Sabaton.
Oh yeah. I'm with you on that.
So like I went to see Sabaton in Vicar Street because I got in for free, right? because we do a lot of business with Vicar Street, and they're always saying, drop over for the whole gig, drop over 10 minutes. I'm not taking up anybody's spot. I'm not, stealing the ticket, anything like that. I kind of run in, stand in the aisle for fucking 10 minutes, 15 minutes, have a look, and then fuck off. Or if it's good, I'll stick around. And if I know I'm going to see a gig, I'll take the night off, or whatever the fuck it is, and I'll get guest list or whatever. But Sabaton, I think, are they power metal or battle metal, or I don't know. Metal? They're German, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're German. And when I went in, their stage setup was the most impressive stage setup I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, they've got a big thing going on.
They have the drum kit is built into a tank, and the cannon of the tank is pointing out into the crowd, and in some cases it moves. And then they have all these Czech hedgehogs and fucking battlements along the front of the stage, and there's barbed wire and fake explosions and smoke, and the singer is just this fucking weird looking chubby dude wearing a bulletproof vest, but a futuristic bulletproof vest with Piff Viper fucking Oakley sunglasses and a weird mohawk. And the band are fucking doing that arpeggio shit that you were talking about, that fucking and then exactly. But then they go into these kind of almost war song sea shanty type of, and we all went over the top and we shot the fucking Brits or whatever. But they're all sang from the point. Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, but it's all sang from I assume because they're German, they're singing about German wars and World War One and shit like that as well, and World War Two, and I think it's just about military battles and all this type of malarkey. But the lads playing are shit hot, right? They're shit hot, and the singer can sing. But when I hear it, I get sick in my mouth a little bit, and there's something in my head saying that if you like garbage throwaway music, these are probably one of the tip-top garbage throwaway metal bands.
Yeah. Do you know what? This thing about Sabaton, people the only thing that really annoys me about the situation is how big they are. From what I've heard, I don't really put those two things together. And I see the stage show. Everyone loves that shit. Yeah. It's cool. I might have grown out of it a bit, but in my 20s I might think, oh, that's class. Look,
I'm a sap for a good stage layout.
Yeah, no, I do. And Iron Maiden and Rammstein do the same. Yeah. It's great. And Pink, of all people, AC/DC. But I remember every time I hear a song by them, it's neither offensive nor remotely
it's not good enough. Anything I've heard, and like I said, I've seen a bit of them live, I listened to a few songs, and it seems to be fairly standard kind of power metal, battle metal, war metal, whatever the fuck you want to call it, tank metal. It seems to be fairly, you hear one song, you've heard all of them, and I fucking hate it, but I think that I might have a soft spot for that kind of garbage every now and again.
I
do like a lot of bullshit music, it must be said. And
you have to turn the brain off every now and then and watch a Fast and the Furious version.
That's the way exactly, like we said, we're talking about Limp Bizkit and stuff like that earlier. Every now and again, you just have to put some bullshit on that kills half an hour, kills an hour, and you just want to float by and chugga and fucking talk about the ramparts dropping on the fucking aquatic fucking tank or whatever. And, but I hate it. I didn't like them live, even though they were ticking loads of boxes for me. And I was thinking at the start, before they even started playing, I was like, if this is good, if their first track is murderous, I could be into these cunts and I might buy a record or two. I'll go down to the merch stand, and I don't think I'll buy a t-shirt. I don't think I'll be advertising that I like this stuff, but I would definitely buy an LP or something just to have on the wall. And I think I lasted a song and a half, and I get me the fuck out of here. Firstly, because the music wasn't good, and secondly, because the people that were there were just the worst. Just the worst.
I don't mind. Most Sabaton fans I know have to say are alright, grand. They're good people, but they're mad. This whole episode is about bands. We're just like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It's irrational. You know what I mean? At its core here. I just think there's loads of that, because I heard loads of that kind of operatic metal stuff before, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then I heard too much of it, and I went, I don't want to hear any of that ever again.
Like two songs in a row,
yeah, exactly. Because sometimes there's a perfect balance between this cool kind of aria style singing and fucking chugga whittle whittle. They're like, fuck me, man, that's incredible. That's incredible. If that was around when I was like fucking 13, that's probably the direction I would have went with my life, like, you know. And, but it didn't. For me, anyway, I only discovered that type of music in the last couple of years. And same with this battle metal shit. Like, there was always that kind of power, funny, like, metal stuff when you were a kid that was stupid. Like, it was fucking stupid. I'm struggling now even to remember bands from the early 90s that were like that.
We'll try and fix this for the next episode. Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff with Glory Hammer and this that we'll try and not be closed-minded. We're trying to learn here, but also I have a feeling we'll come back hating some of them more, but whatever.
Almost certainly. Anyway, that's it. That is Irrational Dislikes. And again, we're going to be back with part 2 next week, which will probably just be called Irrational Dislikes Part 2, or I don't know, The Revenge. And we'll try and fix our problems here. We'll go to therapy. We'll go to music therapy, and see if we can fix that. If you like what we do, we got to patreon.com/Lost Art Podcast. That's a subscription-based model for €5 a month to get you access to loads of exclusive podcasts and videos. Also get you access to our Saturday night live shows. It's the only place you can listen to them if you're not tuned in live. If you want to support us, you got to ko-fi.com/Lost Art Podcast. That's for tipping us. You don't want to go on the subscription-based model. You just want to throw us a few quid. That's there. The link is there in the text in your podcast app where you clicked play on this bitch. It is there for you. You can go to lostartpodcast.com either, and it has all the links. It has everything. And that's got our Mixler link, which is our live radio show that we do on the weekends. It's got our podcast links. It's got our YouTube links. It's got our TikTok links, our Instagram, our fucking everything. It's all there. So go and follow us. The biggest thing you can do for us right now is not give us money. That's much appreciated. Biggest thing you can do for us is share out an episode. Tell your mates. That's it. That's all we ask you. If we've entertained you at all over the last 2 years, or you've got some sort of joy out of the podcast or the live show, share it out the Facebook page, share it out the website link, share it out the Instagram, share it out the Twitter. Just share it out, tell your pals. Makes a big difference.
Share this episode, and don't even say it.
Just click. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to, you know. You know, you don't have to. Why you sharing that? Just share it. Like, share the picture of a cat yesterday. You know what I mean? A cat pushing a glass of water off countertop. It's funny.
I know you want to get laughs, and you might not get. Yes, look, I don't care. Look, whatever. Just do what you can.
Do what you can for us. Anyway, folks, that's it. We are back next Monday with a fresh podcast. Thanks for sticking with us, and we shall talk to you then. Good luck.
Take it easy. Bye.